Cool, that's not me.
Hello, welcome to High 45.
Amazing.
We might need to fix this.
Yeah, where is okay, one sec.
Tristan,
Find your microphone. Damn. Where did it go? How did that just change to be like that when it was totally working fine before?
I know it's no. Subject 792. You have completed the simulation.
It's still echoing. Talk again. It's still echoing. I don't have any audio coming out apart from in here.
Well, I guess it must be mine. Unplug this and try again.
There we go. Hello?
Hello.
Oh, here we go.
I know what the problem was. I had this same stream open up in another tab.
Nice.
Well, should we keep that? Or was that too obnoxious for anyone to bother?
Yeah, let's not keep that. Recording again. Uh-oh.
Let's lock that station over and destroy. Unless yeah, whatever.
Sure.
Okay, so we'll start. I'm here. Okay. Do you want to do the intro?
Yeah. Hey, and welcome to High 45 again, a discussion about the latest weekly tech news that's going to impact the future and singularity. Wow, I butchered that a bit, but yeah, we've got some cool topics.
Do it again.
All right. What is it? Welcome to High 45, a discussion about the weekly tech news leading towards the singularity. Okay, here we go. Hey, and welcome to High 45, a discussion about the weekly tech news leading towards the singularity. I'm Tristan Grace.
I'm Nathan Waters. Wow. The future Wii, man.
Yeah. It's going to be big. And we've got some pretty cool stories this week. So I've got two of the most mainstream ones. I'm going to talk about SpaceX and Tesla because they're awesome. And we should talk about it. So
and I'm going to talk about SteamVR and FemtoSats.
FemtoSats.
Dun, dun, dun. Cool.
Sounds good.
You and Ed.
Yeah, so the big one. Come on, SpaceX. They did the reusable rocket. Like, that's awesome.
Video.
Oh, yeah, where is the video? I have the Verge article. But that isn't a GIF, and we really should have a GIF.
You can do YouTube videos as well. Although I'm still not entirely sure if the YouTube videos actually record. So we might be playing it for ourselves.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Well, everyone's seen it anyway. It's the rocket landing. It's what you would expect from a rocket landing. But, okay, it's pretty friggin' awesome, right? Like, everyone's going crazy about it. I really like it. I think it's epic.
I actually wish I watched the live stream.
Yeah, it was early in the morning for us, eh?
Yeah, it was about, I think it was like 6:30 or something. I was contemplating waking up and watching it, and then I didn't.
Yeah.
But actually, like when I heard the news, I actually wasn't that interested because, like, it was going to happen at some point. They've already landed on dry land.
Exactly. Yeah.
I feel like the drone landing was just like another, like they've tried it so many times, and failed that it's like it was going to happen anyway.
It's the same thing, like, because I think everyone was kind of expecting it to happen, but I mean, you just used the correct term right there. It was just like the drone landing. Like, it was a drone boat and stuff with like a drone rocket and all of that, like just all coming together. And when you see it, it's like, holy shit. Okay, this is actually really fucking cool. And like even the animated GIF and stuff showing that most of the work is actually done by the platform. So the platform moves to go and catch the rocket, and then the rocket comes down. So the rocket doesn't have to move too much. Really cool.
You see the side-by-side of, there was a GIF where apparently a sci-fi movie from the 50s showed the exact same thing, and they did it side-by-side.
That was great. And that was actually happened.
Yeah.
And also, like, it's not it's not a revolution. It's not like a Kuhnian change in the scientific method or something, scientific revolution. But it is still big. Like it's maybe just a little bit more efficient, but it's still really awesome and it's big, and I'm excited because there's still more of a chance. Is there that there's a little bit of that ego thing that hey, might be able to actually get to space. Woo! Yeah. That's cool. Did you just share a GIF or something? There we go.
How cool is that?
Sky Calls.
The Sky Calls 1959.
It's pretty sweet. A little bit over 50 years, and we did it.
I have some more stuff to talk about this actually, because
okay.
So after I was like, oh, this is boring, it's landing on a drone, who cares? Like, wouldn't it make the whole point of it is for reusable rockets here? So yeah. It's the cost of it, so you can just a bit like airplanes, you can just basically refuel and just fly again.
Yeah, it's cheap. It's cheaper to get us up there.
Yeah, the idea that you space travel or flights, normal airplane travel wouldn't have taken off if they had to throw away the 747 every time they landed.
Yeah.
So then I was like, well, why drones? Why is this just a challenge? Like, why do they need? Wouldn't it be much more efficient to land on land? You can automatically, it's already on land, you can then just truck it to the next location, spray it down, fix it up, and then go again. Whereas a barge, it's like, you got to wait for the barge to come back in, you got to crane it, you got to do all that stuff. So I found this awesome. There was that post-conference interview, the post drone landing interview with Elon Musk, and he actually mentioned it all, and then it's really good. I may as well link that in the comments as well, because people can link back to this. And what he actually said is that the reason they need to do drone landings is because, particularly when they go to geosynchronous orbit, the higher they go, they need the barge landing because it gives a little bit of extra cushioning. Plus, it also, it's much easier to get some type of approval or something for landing at sea than landing on land.
Yeah, because if you crash, you don't have to worry.
Yeah, because you're just killing some fish.
Yeah,
maybe a few dolphins.
Well, there's not even many fish out in the open ocean. It's just,
how do you know?
Because it's all at the edges. If it's deep in the ocean, it's not a lot there because there's no food or anything.
What about Cthulhu?
Well, of course he's there. She's there. It's there.
So Musk said that I think half of their landings in their future are going to be drone based. So that's why they have to. It makes sense to nail that.
Yeah.
And they said this one's they're going to relaunch it in May.
Yeah, I saw that. It's actually going to happen again. That's the whole point, that if it burns itself out and all that, it's not actually useful again. And that. That's pretty freaking sweet. You did some maths on Facebook, I saw as well, that to actually work out how cheap they could get it.
I have apparently way too much free time. So I worked it out. If you look at there's an awesome page of SpaceX, showing the costings. So the Falcon 9 is the one that they're using to launch. And if you go to their website, I'll link it in the comments now. So just read it out. So the Falcon 9 to low Earth orbit. So the Falcon 9 costs $61 million. To low Earth orbit, it's 13 tons basically. And geosynchronous orbit, which is higher, is about 5 tons. So if you work out the pricing of per kilogram, it actually, at the moment, it costs about $4,500 US per kilogram to get to low Earth orbit, which is really fucking expensive.
It's ridiculously
but
expensive.
Even that's still cheaper than what most other provide offering, satellites and stuff like that. I mean, they're still, because of the way they manufacture and go from basically raw materials and aluminium and just push them through their factory and suddenly rockets pop out. It's way cheaper. But I saw one thing saying that Musk's plan is basically to get down to $100 per pound, which is $45 US per kilo. So awesome. He wants to reduce it by a factor of 100, essentially, because you get $4,500 now down to $45. And dude, I'm pretty sure from what I calculated, if I did that right a few days ago, the Falcon Heavy is basically it's basically 3 Falcon 9s strapped together. So that one costs $90 million and gets 53 tons to orbit. And so I think, I forget the maths, but I think it was something where it gets obviously it's like much cheaper, but what they're also another thing he said is that Musk plans to reuse each rocket 10 times, each rocket fuselage. So then if you basically take the Falcon 9 and reduce it down, hang on, I can probably find these stats somewhere really quickly. It basically worked out that with the Falcon 5, with the Falcon Heavy, and the 10 reused launches, they can get it down to $100. Here we go. So Falcon Heavy, $90 million US over 53 tons. So that is $1,700 US per kilo. So if you then essentially divide that by 10, you're down to, what's that, $169 per kilo.
Yeah, look at that. That's amazing.
Of course.
It wouldn't. I don't think you'd be able to just exactly divide it by 10. You still need to fill it up and do all of that. But still, that's massive.
Link straight to that thing.
Yeah. Holy hell, okay. That's proper disruption. That's really opening it up to anyone. Well, not anyone, but a lot more people. Now we just need somewhere to go or something to do up in space. Don't get me wrong, I'd go up there just for the hell of it.
Mining.
And if we could get some economic benefit from being up there, more than just satellites. A moon base. You know, what the Sky Calls, that movie back then, could promise us.
Mars base, man. Just go straight to Mars.
Yeah, Mars would be good too. It's a year travel though.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
There is actually
just a quick.
One of my future vids is there's a plan that I watched a while ago. This guy who did a massive lecture, and he worked out with so the Falcon Heavies that are going to launch this year. He worked out with 9 Falcon Heavy missions over the course of 5 years.
Yeah.
You could actually establish a Mars colony with humans.
Oh shit! How many people would that be?
Like a dozen or so. Just the very start, like the first instance. And I think the idea was so it was 9 launches. So it was like you launch like 3. Yeah, you launch like 3 of them in like year 1, like at the start, because you got to wait some certain number of time when Mars is at its shortest distance.
Yeah, the planets.
Which I think is like every 2 years. Yeah, I think it's every 2 years.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
And yeah, so you launch 3, and then you that sets up that's basically unmanned. That just sets all the shit up, and then you launch another 3, which sets up a few more stuff, and then you launch another 3. So 9 missions, which 9 times 90. So you could probably set up a base for $1 billion.
Yeah. Oh my god. There are billionaires out there. It's like, yeah, you can call it your name. You put $1 billion out there.
I guess $1 billion for launches and other stuff.
Yeah. Like Sergey's moon base. Okay, I'll do that.
Peter Thiel. The ultimate military move.
Thiel base 1. It totally is. And 3 doing the New World experiment. 1700s. Except with a literal New World. Oh man, that's so cool. Well, it's all of this. It's opening it again, and I don't know. It's capturing everyone's imagination. It's capturing the general populace's imagination. I don't know. I was watching TV today. It was 9 News or something. I don't know. It was just the news today. And then there was this ad about going to Mars and saying, why would you want to go to Mars? And it asked all of these people. And then it turned out to be an ad for allergy medication. Because there are so many cats on planet Earth. Oh my god, I'm allergic to all of these things. But with this nose spray, it combats 4 different types of allergies. You don't need to leave the planet to feel better. What? So that's a common thing that's played in 9 News for, going to Mars. Great.
Mars ads.
It's in the zeitgeist. Everyone's now kind of expecting it.
We've both got the Occupy Mars shirts. You've been wearing them any random places where you get interesting looks.
Not right. I just wear it at work a lot. That's always fun. Try and branch out. Oh well, let's go to your one. I want to know what.
That's kind of related, I guess. I gotta find the link again. Pinky link.
Mm.
I actually did another video on this one.
Oh.
So actually I can't remember it. Oh,
Oh.
that's weird. Wait, sorry. I wonder if I can get a photo in here.
Sure.
This is a CubeSat.
You know about CubeSats, yeah?
Yes. The tiny satellites.
Well, they're not that tiny. They're basically like 10 by 10 by 10 centimeter cube. It's actually a little bit. So it's 10 by 10 by I think 11.35. Last time I checked. Oh, sweet! I found a video. I can post it in the thing. And they're really cool. So apparently, I looked it up, and CubeSats, sorry, have been around for like since about 2000, like the year 2000.
Is this like nanotechnology as satellites or something?
They should,
No.
yeah, they should have called, like, they've gone from CubeSat to FemtoSat. I even in the video I said they should call these like microsats or something.
Yeah, I guess everyone does that. Femto still seems exotic.
So anyway, this is just a smaller version of the CubeSat essentially. And so this one is 3 by 3 by 3 centimeters, and within that it has a solar power, it has propulsion, it has communications, it has I think that's pretty much all you need. Whatever other sensors you want to.
Yeah, that's massive.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, that's super mad. Well, like, what are they trying to do there? Are they going to launch like thousands of them and get them in geostationary stuff, or are they going to just do low Earth orbit and video people? Or
yeah, well, that's I guess like the CubeSat and the FemtoSat, like really, like when you think about it, what they are is they're kind of like they're form factor standards. So I actually compare them to a bit like you know how when cargo ships, like international shipping, before they invented the shipping container, they used to just like haul cargo in nets and crap. But when you have
the big evolution was the cargo.
Yeah. So these are kind of like the cargo container standards for launching shit into space, launching satellites into space, to bring the cost down as much as possible. Make sure everyone is like builds their little satellites inside this standard, and so they can just put them all into a giant box and then put them up on one of the next launches and just push them out of the ISS to deploy satellites.
Yeah.
And they've already done that with CubeSats. Like there's, I don't know how many there are, but like students have been using them to launch projects and do stuff. Different academic groups, and I wouldn't be surprised if even a bunch of startups have used CubeSats. This is just a new evolution of that, just like basically a smaller form factor, and just using like off the shelf components and putting them in there. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And then,
holy shit, is there like a website for there? Is there... I'm just imagining, like, you just jump onto a website saying, I want to put this in the space shuttle. I want to do this on my satellite, with my satellite. It's a click-through process and mail it off and they chuck it up in orbit.
Yeah.
If that's not a thing, that should totally be a thing, because that would just be amazing.
Or even like an API where you can just like reprogram these swarms of satellites.
Well, yeah. Well, okay. Satellites as a service. SSAAS. That'd be pretty cool. Well, shit. Like, I don't know the specs for it, but like, just chucking in some cameras and just having them all there. Like, how there's Earthcast, right? How that's up there. Like, I don't know what the solar panel can actually beam back or what the bandwidth is, but shit, if you got like 1,000 of them up there, all just taking pictures of the Earth at different points, being able to map that all together, like, shit, that satellite as a service actually is a really cool idea.
Yeah. I'm not sure how, like, they all have cameras on them, but I'm not sure how good the cameras would be. That was
you probably could, maybe try to take a picture every 30 seconds or so.
That whole like imaging the Earth thing, that's another whole topic. There's awesome companies doing stuff with that, and that was another video I did last week or 2 weeks ago or something. This idea of like, because they're eventually going to end up mapping the Earth down to like the centimeter. Like at the moment, these satellites are doing not these ones, not the FemtoSats and the CubeSats, but the guys launching at like Planet Labs and Earthcast and Terabella, Google's one. Their resolution gets down to about a meter per pixel. But imagine when it's like a centimeter per pixel and it's like 8K real-time streaming video of the entire planet, with enough machine learning and stuff and data on top of that, and like just learning from that data, you're essentially like creating a brain for Earth or Gaia. Not so much like the whole global human hive mind, but more of like building the brain for Gaia. Like,
yeah. And it's outside. It's floating around.
And then you can do that stuff. Like, the Venus Project always talks about the resource-based economy. And the idea is like, treat the planet like, a spaceship Earth or whatever. And you should really take a resource map of like what there is. Because we've never really done that as a species. We've never got together. We've never said, let's map the entire planet's resource and just work out exactly how much shit we have. It's like...
what can we actually
what do we actually have? And then let's all work out how we're going to effectively allocate all these limited resources so we don't just fucking use them all up. We've never done that. Ever. As a species.
Yeah.
We just... Everyone, you found this? Cool. You own it. You can...
Yeah, it's yours now. Yeah. Cool. Now, a big thing that I think is going to be a thing in the future is being able to own as much matter as possible. Like, if you can buy land for cheap, or if you can get enough energy actually flowing onto you, let's say, like, from Australia. Oh, sorry, one sec. Thank you very much. Yeah. Charger. But, whoops. So actually having enough, like, of the desert, if you owned enough of the desert, you're getting all of this sun flowing into you, you could get, enough of the actual matter there. Sure, there might be some minerals and stuff, but give it 100, 200 years, you might be able to effectively transmute it into anything you want. It's still rare earth and all that. You'll still need bits and pieces, but it's going to come down to, at some point, like a game about mass, right? Like, who has the most amount of atoms? That's where it could get really cool with, like, with the Gaia project and the satellites and stuff, that everyone starts carving out literally a piece of Earth.
Wait, sorry, I missed that. I'm focusing on the scratching noise.
Oh, are you scratching yourself?
No, there's like some weird scratching noise.
Oh, okay.
Wait, so what are you saying? Like, everyone's just like on a massive mission to get as many atoms as possible and hoard them?
Well, I say eventually, right? Like, so let's just say that, like, AI becomes the big thing, and it's the classic paperclip optimizer problem, right? That the AI doesn't hate you; you just use atoms that it thinks it could use for something else. I mean, that'll be the same with anything. Like, the whole Earth is going to be carved up into computronium and all of that jazz. I mean, as the Earth actually starts to get converted, which is coming pretty close, it's going to matter more about who controls the most amount of atoms, the most amount of Earth, literally. And then even before that, it's the most amount of energy. So, say in Australia, right, with the desert, if you own a shit ton of the Australian outback, you get a lot of energy flowing onto you. So, yeah, you could do a lot with it.
You're gonna buy up deserts, Tris?
I'm highly considering it. That would be really nice. Just the idea of saying that I own more land than all of Greece or something, like, there's a certain sense of egotistical pride in that.
There's always been that idea of having giant server farms buried underground with solar panels on top in the desert.
Yeah, exactly. Why not?
It's interesting.
The new Bitcoin mining for that. Except that'd be pretty bad. It would not be economical. But I don't know. I think eventually it will be a race for as many atoms as possible. But once we actually realize it's happening, I think we don't really.
It's too late.
Worry. Yeah, it's a bit too late. Sadly. Sorry.
No, but the AI ethics committees will help us. And...
Is there a more pretentious and wanky organization than AI ethics? Jesus Christ. Collection of chimpanzees coming together to say what the ethical treatment of, like, space travel is. So dumb. I could have picked a better metaphor, but it worked. Yes. Okay, FemtoSats are awesome. So when are we going to do satellites as a service? Let's just make that.
I don't know. Oh yeah. Well, then the next idea on top of that, I was like, well, these things are 3 by 3 centimeters cubed. Well, then the next one's going to be like a centimeter by centimeter cube. And then, like, how small do you get to the point where you can just super cheaply deploy. Let's just deploy 1 billion satellites.
Yeah.
And then they just, because they're all got propulsion, you can just like automatically have them a bit like drone swarms,
Cloud.
but they're like, the cloud. And then the idea was like, well, if you can do that around, like, imagine just in one launch, you can just like, boom, here's 1 billion satellites, or a trillion. Let's say a trillion is a better word to say. Trillion.
1 trillion satellites, yeah.
But then if you can do that around Earth, then why not fucking do it around every single planet?
Damn.
Imagine if we had 1 trillion satellites, like just one launch to each planet, and you just instantly deploy 1 trillion satellites around the entire planet, and then you end up just somehow being able to map the whole thing in real time in like 8K footage and like every single, down to like millimeter, centimeter resolution, and you can, in all the other sensors and radio waves and whatever crap they like shoot at it.
Every planet, every moon, everything around us, we've got perpetual watching. You can just pull up a video of Uranus and just watch it.
That's just...
But no, seriously, like that's awesome. It's the same. It's Earthcast. It's the same as that for every planet. I mean, why don't we have live feeds of Jupiter? Like,
it's weird.
It is weird.
It's really primitive. Like we have a few satellites around Mars and stuff, and obviously they take photos, but like it's not. And then they're trying to like look at mountain ranges and stuff, and that's about the resolution they can get.
Yeah,
like they should be able to like watch, individual, almost like bits of sand flowing off around surfaces. You could like map the movement of the entire weather system on every single planet.
Yeah, that's strange. Epic, man.
Tesla.
So I've gone a bit of an Elon Musk binge for this week, just because, I don't know, they've been the two big popular ones. The new Tesla car was unveiled, kind of, the S3, and you can plonk down $1,000 refundable for a deposit, so you can get your new S3 car. And this is the end of Elon Musk's big plan to actually make the electric car a reality. And it looks pretty cool. Like it was like a couple of 100,000 pre-orders, all at $1,000 a pop. Like it's pretty amazing. Like it's a hell of a way to actually fundraise. Like god damn, it's like essentially a Kickstarter. If you're talking about a crowdfunding campaign, it could actually be the largest ever crowdfunding campaign ever. Depends what your definition is, really.
You reckon 1,000? How many cars were sold?
It was like a couple of 100,000, I think. I don't know how many was it. It was like he raised over $1 billion, I thought.
200,000. He was tweeting out. I love that like Musk is just like this billionaire with a Twitter account, and every single tweet he does just like causes chaos.
I know, it's great. He don't give a shit. It's great. Well, better things to worry about. I doubt he goes and reads them.
Yeah. 325,000 cars.
Nice.
In the first week.
So that's 325 million.
1,000 times 1,000. Yeah. 325,000 times 1,000.
That's right, isn't it? 325,000. Or is that 3.25 billion? Oh, God, how am I that bad at maths?
We don't have to worry about it. Yeah, 325 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would make it the biggest crowdfunding.
Yeah, it'd be the biggest crowdfunding campaign ever. Because they're not actually getting anything back. They're just paying for a future product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And nothing was like fully developed in the thing.
No, exactly. The thing that I'd love to bring up is the interior of the car. Like, that was ridiculous.
The monitor, fucking
just
17-inch monitor or just something.
Yeah, and it just comes in there. Like, I'm not sure if that's their future. That's what it's going to be. I really, really hope it is, because there were lots of articles saying that that's probably what it is actually going to be. But it means that their whole big thing about self-driving, and you don't need to worry. Like, you're not really the one in control there. It's the machine that is.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I saw I think it was a Verge article suggesting that because the interior wasn't finished and they showed how minimal it was, that they suggested that this could actually be a fully self-driving car.
Yeah.
Which is really insane, because this would make it the very first mass market fully autonomous self-driving car.
Yeah.
Which I think they probably might actually end up doing.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's not going to be, production won't start until like the end of next year, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think so. It's still a while away.
And then there's another article, another point Musk said where he said the steering controls will be like driving a spaceship.
Yeah, yeah, I saw that.
Like,
Really? Okay, dude. No, it's changing the way that we actually see cars and the way that they actually work. I mean, this is the one that's meant to get out there to people so that, oh, hell's yeah, I can actually own this car. But more importantly than that, it's, you know, probably going to work a lot with Uber and the self-driving cars and all of that. That the idea that, oh, cool, I can actually own this car may not be the first thing you think. It might be like, oh, cool, I can just use this car. It's built for, you know, just getting you from A to B rather than owning the car.
I've actually wondered that. Like, what do you think they're going to do next? Because like, surely they must know that the future is not going to be people owning cars; it's going to be people using them.
Yeah.
But at the moment, they're in the business of selling cars for you to own. So, like, what do you think they'll do?
I'm not sure. Like maybe partnering with other logistics companies like Uber or things like that, and they're providing essentially the hardware for it. I do find it funny that they haven't started their own software. Like, as a lot of what Elon Musk has done, apart from PayPal, it's not software, which is weird. Like, there's a lot of software in it, but it's not the main part is still always hardware.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's actually, I've had a few thoughts on that, like which way it could go, because I think like maybe they might make another model or two after this one to purely more like targeted at consumers to buy. But at some point, they're probably going to want to end up making purely self-driving cars that they're only developed on a mass market feature and only really to sell wholesale to Uber.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
But then when you start thinking about that, like, why would Tesla give up? Like, they might do that. They might fulfill Uber's orders because they'll want a shitload of cars. But at some point, Tesla might just want to create their own Uber competitor. Like, if they've already got their own fleet of cars and they're all already pretty much a car and software type company, why wouldn't they just make? I mean, Uber is essentially just a button that you press.
Yeah.
Anyone can create a button. It's just all back end stuff after that.
Exactly.
And Tesla's already got the brand.
Yeah, Tesla's got the brand. You just do an advertising campaign saying, cool, this is a way to do it. It's much cheaper than Uber. Also, they don't have the big overheads of having to try and get, like, you know, actual drivers and stuff. Uber becomes legacy because they have to support all this other shit. Whereas they can just become, no, like, we're pure logistics. It's all self-driving. You want to get home self-driving? Cool, jump in. You want to actually deliver this parcel from A to B? Just use us as your logistics company. It's great.
And here's where the competitive advantage could happen, because this is not really a software play. It's more of like a who can produce the most cars play. Because you think like once the technology, like once you can actually produce a self-driving car in a factory line, and you can actually have it drive itself out of the factory and go and work essentially as a self-driving car. The moment that happens, the person who wins the entire, like, becomes the Uber of that world is the person who controls the most cars.
Yeah, the person who can get that hardware out as fast as possible and who owns those cars.
And who's going to be producing those cars at that point? Self-driving cars. I think it'll probably be Tesla.
Yeah, it'll be Tesla.
They'll probably be pushing off at least like 500,000. They're doing at the moment 500,000 cars a year, but they'll be wanting to be doing millions of cars a year. And every car that comes off the factory line, they'll just be like, it just drives out to whatever the high demand area is and just starts working. Yeah,
they just drop it off at a city and it just keeps on doing it, or it drives right out of the factory into just working straight away. It's holy shit, that's massive. And then imagine how much that would hurt Uber and how dependent Uber is on them providing the hardware to them. If they can say, like, nah, self-driving cars aren't going to be with you guys. We're going to just do our own thing. Fuck, that's massive.
And I had the theory that Uber right now would probably be trying to like sign up exclusive manufacturing deals with as many self-driving manufacturers as possible to basically give them premium on what they're selling to basically get every single car they possibly produce. Because once that kicks off, they're going to want every car.
Yeah.
But that could be the point where if Tesla has the better production, bigger than someone like a Mercedes or a GM or one of those other companies, if they can kick out more cars.
Well, and they can advertise it a lot better as well. It comes down to like the IBM versus Microsoft versus Apple type thing, that Tesla can control the whole experience. You don't get a random car. No, you get a classy, latest Tesla car that'll come and pick you up automatically and deliver you where you need to go. It's not Uber trying to work with IBM. It's trying to work with GM. It's trying to work with it's trying to work with Mercedes and stuff. It's just not single experience, getting you from A to B in style.
But I guess they only have that competitive advantage until other manufacturers catch up, and Uber can buy cars as quick as possible.
No, well, see, that's where I'm saying maybe not, though, because they'll have the one brand and the one thing. Like, if they make the factories good enough and they can meet demand, they can control the whole experience. It's the same way that Apple's, controlled the whole experience and they've done well. Like, sure, there's been the lower end stuff, but hell, you stick. I think Tesla might be able to control the whole thing.
Yeah, but Android has 85% market share now. So
it does, true. But maybe that was because Apple didn't expand into the lower end and try to dominate that as well. I'm not sure. It's an option.
Yeah,
it's cool. Shall we go to SteamVR?
SteamVR.
What happened with the Steam?
You've seen this video, yeah?
Let's see what it is.
Does the sound play for you? No, I got it. It's separate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It doesn't play. Like, I need to actually hit play.
I pulled the directions up on here. Make sure that
No, I haven't seen this video. I've seen the Vive, but I haven't seen the video. Wow, cool.
Yeah, dude, this is my main hook that I want to do for Hackathon this year in July in Wollongong. Fucking green room.
Oh yeah,
VR green room,
dude. That's a great idea.
Yeah, because when you see what they can do with it, and I was speaking to a guy in Wollongong who's like pretty much like the main VR guy here.
Yeah.
He wants to set up like a $3 million lab at the uni, and he's going to start up doing train simulation stuff with VR.
Just a heads up, you've gone down to just audio.
What?
Yeah, it's popped up saying audio only. You've got poor internet.
Oh no!
Very poor internet. My God, your NBN is just shocking.
Fucking Simon, stop torrenting. That shouldn't be an issue on fucking 100 megabits per second. God damn it.
Shit, I'm the same, and it's dumb. No, dude, the green room is an awesome idea. Like, the Vive is massive. It's so cool. Having the actual controllers and being able to interact with the world is big. It's really big. And, like, this is still Gen 1, which is epic.
Does Oculus not... Don't they have their own controllers?
No, not yet.
No.
They've got a plan for them coming out later on, but at the moment it's a 360 or an Xbox One controller.
Okay.
So, yeah, holy hell, this is so cool. I can't wait to play with it. You're right about a whole full green room, though. Why do you need a green room, though, if you've got the...
It's purely for the filming it for a camera.
Right.
All there is essentially like the camera's wearing... The guy on the camera is wearing the same headset as well, so it can see.
Gotcha. So it's like you can actually see how they're interacting.
Yeah, and then you get these cool shots of like other people randomly just sitting on a couch in the living room and playing games.
So epic.
It's kind of weird. Like it's weird, like one person playing VR in a room and then other people watching. It's obviously going to be way better when everyone in the room has a headset and they're all in the same world interacting together.
Oh, exactly. Well, that's where it comes back down to like your augmented reality. I mean, I really think like augmented reality is going to be the big killer thing. At least for I don't know, for the $1 billion companies and stuff. There'll be $1 billion like virtual reality companies, but I think you think the same way, right? It's like augmented reality is where you're going to get the big world-changing applications.
I guess you kind of want both. Like it's obviously going to be there's going to end up being something where you can just instantly switch between the two.
Yes. Yes.
Because like say if I'm just sitting in my room by myself, I'm not going to want fucking augmented reality. I'm going to want immersive VR, like porn, just tits in my face everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Wall.
Oh no.
Exactly. Tactile feedback.
A high 45 clip.
Play now. Yeah, but like, so when you're actually out there interacting, it's the same way as like, playing a computer game or playing or watching a movie or something. That's kind of what the virtual reality experience is. Whereas if you want to actually go out there and interact or produce value rather than consuming content, it might be more augmented. Maybe. Actually, I might be wrong with that. There's the Unreal video about them, with their tablet and building things and stuff. I'm not sure. It feels like there's more business applications with augmented. But then again, I haven't actually tried. I've tried Meta and I've tried Oculus. So I don't.
Yeah, but like shitty versions of both.
Yeah, exactly. It's not the latest ones. I want to try the latest.
Something you just said there, true thought. Like the idea of like in VR, you're just basically a consumer and you're not really contributing. And then if people catch on to that more and more, what if we end up with like two different like class systems essentially? Like, fucking random, but like. If you have the people who like get really, really addicted and hooked on VR, that whole like dystopian vision of people curled up in like decrepit apartments, essentially those people will become almost like a different race, a different class, where they're just like they're the consumer class. So they're just like the pithy consumer class, and then there's the AR wearers who are more like. I guess they're less imaginative because they're not fully immersed in these crazy, trippy worlds. So they're less creative, but they've chosen to tie themselves more to the real world. In that sense, then they end up becoming the producers, I guess.
That's what a class of consumers and a class of producers.
Which is what we already have now, but
well, it's going to become harder and harder for people to actually become a producer. And well, actually, not even that. It's just that one person who can produce content for thousands, if not millions of people, and keep them in the same state. People, that's exciting and terrifying. But I don't know.
I guess even in VR, like you're still getting output. You're getting way more output from a human than you would if they're just sitting there watching a TV show.
Exactly, and that would actually help the experience. So if you could actually capture as much as possible about their body and their response and shit, even if you had like, basic EKG scans or something, at least being able to understand what they're roughly thinking, you could get some really good feedback. And more than that, you could actually start changing them into what you want.
You could you could like raise people to be like fucking medieval knights. Just raise
exactly
in a VR environment, and they just live in these VR like worlds where their entire reality is like fucking like Robin Hood style men in tights medieval shit.
That'd be amazing.
They're raised to like battle.
There'll be a new Olympics on that. Like there'll be Olympics of like proper sword fighting and stuff because you can actually do that. Like, especially if you're raised that way, like, we're already getting a little bit now with like computer games and people are training every day to do it. But imagine you're a kid grown from like birth. Oh, you showed particular aptitude for sword fighting in VR. So we're going to train you like crazy as a knight by all of history's best teachers. They'll be the best fucking sword fighters ever. Pretty cool.
It's like a new esport. But it's like,
it's like
reality esports. And they're raised in these different worlds.
That's awesome. You could do that with anything, any skill you wanted to. It's the Olympics for anything you wanted, like anything crazy or out there or dangerous or Jesus Christ.
And then you can also just like you could have these challenges where you just like you could just throw people random challenges and just it's almost like it's like that whole like processing on humans, but almost in like a geospatial VR sense. It's like testing their reflexes, their dexterity, and but also their ability to solve problems, I guess.
Yeah. So you do it with warfare too. Anything like that. You're training the best soldiers, all of that. Like, people joke before about, I'm really good at Call of Duty. That makes me a good warrior. Or a good soldier. Warrior? What the fuck? I'm reading too much fantasy. But really good soldier. But actually later on, playing proper AR games, you'll be like, oh, this is more and more realistic. The America's Army game that was released before to help train people. This could be done better.
What about real warfare, but with augmented reality? So the enemies just look like zombies.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. So it dehumanizes them.
Or it's like the
Oh,
opposite, or it's like
geez.
flowers, or something like that. It's the war.
Yeah.
The battlefield becomes this really nice place.
Ah, you just sell it as that. Look, your soldiers don't have PTSD
Yeah.
anymore. Yeah, augmented reality changes a lot of assumptions.
Yeah.
Not a good thing, but you need to see the bad things to be able to help the good things, I guess. Fuck, man.
Something I
This is
keep
awesome.
thinking about more and more with like the whole like every new video you see on the whole VR AR stuff, and every new like idea that people come up with, it's almost already in that point now where it's like literally anything you can imagine suddenly becomes a reality. In the sense of like, because you're stepping into these worlds, that world can be literally fucking anything. And so it's like you imagine that whole idea of like imagine it and it happens. Like we don't even need nanobots. We don't need nanotechnology for that to occur. It's already happening, and it's like fucking. It's in consumer ready. It's like go to fucking Dick Smith, or go to like your local, Harvey Norman or Officeworks, or even like fucking your supermarket, and just buy a headset, go home, plug it in, and suddenly now you're in whatever world you can imagine.
Yeah. There's going to be more and more and more of that. We don't have a proper UI. We don't have an understanding of how those interactions occur yet. We're about to discover it. Big. Okay, we kind of need to get a HoloLens and the Vive and the Oculus Rift, because this is the beginning of like the future.
It's so expensive.
Yeah, I know. $3,000 for a HoloLens, I can't.
What's $3,000?
Yeah, US.
For the actual device. Not even.
Well, that's what it was before for the
wow.
sign up. So yeah.
Sorry, a guy I'm friends with on Facebook. I think he's like a developer advocate or something at IBM. He changed his you can do like video profiles on Facebook. He changed it to he's got a HoloLens, so he's standing there with the thing on, and he's got the things in his hands, and he goes.
Oh man, that's amazing. Cool. Yeah, we need to get these new things, or else we'll be left behind.
I need a new computer for it to work though. So
on. Shall we call it there?
High 45.
Awesome. Yeah, High 45. We'll catch you next
guys.
time.
See ya.
See you later.